Hey folks, this is Vincent Adelie with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to talk about Din's Champion. Now, it's important to stress that what you're looking at here is the alpha version of the game, so everything that you're about to see is most definitely subject to change. This is by the same developer that did Drox Operative, Drox Operative 2, and a couple of other games that I don't remember the names of that came before. But I can tell you this, and this is just more of a warning. We really enjoy Drox Operative, especially too because we can play co-op together. We don't get to play it as often as we'd like to, but this game is, well, it's pretty much the same thing. It's like they took Terraria and then, like, sort of formed the whole Drox Operative UI and mechanics around it. So, like in Drox Operative, you're going to create a character, and there are multiple classes, by the way, which is kind of cool. And then you're going to sort of generate a world. But even after you complete that world, you can create a brand new one, and your character will persist from world to world. Again, very akin to Drox Operative. And personally, like, there was only 6 classes to choose between in this build, but I see that there's 3 different columns, and it looks like there's 10 or 12 classes per column. So I'm really excited to see all the different content that will be available for this game when it's all said and done. Now, I got 2 press keys, and Idly and we've been playing this for the last, I want to say, half an hour, 45 minutes, something like that. And I think, for the most part, like, it was a love-hate kind of thing. Like, there were things that were frustrating me, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, this is really cool, but how do you do this? Oh my god, this is really cool, but how do you do this? This is frustrating me. What were your thoughts on this game as a whole? Like, what, as you were playing it, were you frustrated at all? Did you enjoy your experience? All that good stuff.
Um, it's one of those things where I could get frustrated by it, but it seems like the more you'll play it, the more you'll get used to the controls. So that really wasn't as frustrating for me as it was for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think I could wrap my head around the controls because I used to play Craft the World quite a bit. And you hit the nail on the head. It is very much like Terraria, but with the Drox Operative to game mechanics, with the whole quest lines and the UI interface and all that. And the only frustrating thing that I found was that this is such a vast place to explore, but it's hard to have fun exploring it when there's constant enemies just bombarding you left, right, up, and down, And it's not that they're hard to take down, it's more that there's just it's so constant. There's no breathing room
Right.
practically.
So one of the first things I had trouble with, and I'm basing this, like, I've played a lot of 2D side-scrolling, like, Terraria-like clones, and you get a pickaxe, and you get, like, whatever class weapon you have. In this game, it's so weird. I was chopping down trees by shooting them with my bow and arrow, and my pickaxe did not do that. The pickaxe is for chopping up items, like, it was, for the land. It was for, like, shaping the land, cutting it, that kind of thing. Whereas, like, cutting down trees was shooting it with my bow and arrow, which was really weird, because I've played a lot of these games, and typically you get, like, an axe for the trees, you get a pickaxe for the rocks and the things that you want to mine out, and then your weapon is for the weapon, for the enemies only. Here, your weapon is also a tree cutter. It's so weird. And another thing, hitting I to bring up your inventory sort of brings this. In the center of your screen is, like, your character sheet for some reason. Ida Lee did point out that you could, like, if you barely click and hold the top of the window, you can actually drag it to the left. And that's something I didn't discover on my own at all. Like, I would have never figured that out. I just wish that were more apparent. Like, the hitbox for clicking that window to move it was very small, and I had trouble getting it. Also, by the way, another issue I had, adjusting the gamma in windowed mode adjusted the gamma on my monitor. So as I was making the screen brighter so I could see it better, the rest of my computer was whitening out, which is weird. It wasn't limited to the window. So that's a bug. Again, this is alpha. So again, all of that hopefully, subject to change. The primary goal of this, like I said, is you're generating a world and you have like some kind of objective, like destroy this person. The map is actually quite big. Like in Terraria, there's a surface to explore, but then you dig down for a lot of this stuff. And as she said, like the enemies are spawning nonstop, and it's frustrating to explore this environment when there's so many enemies spawning all the time. And there's no breathing room. There's no spawners that I can see that are generating. It's just these enemies pop in out of nowhere. Like areas that I thought I had cleared, now they're appearing behind me and attacking me. I have no breathing room whatsoever to manage inventory, to look at my skill tree, because they're constantly attacking when I'm out and about. And that's a problem, in my opinion. But you've got this lifestone back at your base, and you have to protect that. And there's no way that I saw that you could move it. Now, I did email the developer about that because that was the biggest thing. Like, you can build this base. Like in Terraria, you can make an anvil, you can make a crafting table, you can make a weaver station, you can make a furnace, so you can smelt ores that you find. So like, think Terraria. But, so you can build a base, you can craft all these new weapons, all of that is cool. But then I'm like, well, how do I move the thing I'm supposed to protect inside my base? Because where it's spawned by default is awful. And the developer did email me back, and Steve said, that's the developer, he says, and I quote, "You can craft some basic things anywhere by hitting the F key. I believe that is the default. A summon lifestone scroll is one of those things. However, I think I broke that scroll in the last build. There will hopefully be another build later tonight, though." So he's working on it. So I have to stress that. Now, like in Drox Operative, you'll find portals in the world, and you can teleport between them like you could in Drox Operative. You could teleport between, like, I guess, galaxies or whatever. In this game, you can teleport between areas, like it's biomes. Like in Terraria, there are like different biomes, but they have names and there's portals, so you can sort of teleport between them. And there's a lot here. I had so many questions going into this, and the only reason I stuck through it, because I was getting frustrated with some of it, was, that I'd played Drox Operative before and was drawing on my knowledge of that. But the Terraria part with the mining and the moving and the building, that was frustrating. Trying to figure out how to build a base and to do things, to get things done the way I wanted them to, was not a very intuitive experience. And also moving left and right, up and down hills, jerked the screen so much that it was actually causing some motion sickness. So, like, this game, I think, still has a lot of work to be done on it. And I did preface this all by saying this is alpha. So I think the developer knows that. I know that. So, I want to come back to this and play it more, but at the same time, it's a very rough experience right now. But Ida Lee, she loved this from the looks of it. Like, I think what kept her going was the whole quest thing, because Terraria, you've got bosses to kill to advance, but in this game, you get quests like you do in Drox Operative, and there's a diplomacy section and stuff like in Drox Operative, and you can go out and do quests, like kill 20 of this creature or whatever, and there's a main quest to kill that one boss or whatever. And I think that's what interested you, or am I wrong?
Yes. No, definitely hit the nail on the head again. But I was in love with Drox Operative too, and it was because of the whole quest thing and the faction thing, and I don't even like the actual theme. Like, I'm not a big space person. So I love this because you get to base build and decorate, and I hope so far all the quests have been combat heavy and monster heavy. I'm hoping that the quest could be like, I don't know, harvest hundreds of wood or build a nice little place, with a window or
hmm
something.
hmm
So, but I'm looking forward to the growth of this game because I really, really enjoyed it, like, quite a bit.
One thing
So,
that we didn't get to, you can create a house steed, which is an item, and
mhm.
assuming that your house meets the parameters, an enclosed area, so many blocks big but not too big, NPCs can actually move in. to
Hmm.
your location, just like in Terraria. You can have
Yeah.
NPCs move in. We
Yeah,
didn't. We did that, but we didn't find any NPCs to move in yet.
I
So we're getting there. Hmm.
I love that there's so many, it seems like there's so many classes to unlock as well with different objectives. And one of the objectives was you had to kill a certain amount of NPCs in order to unlock the class. So that kind of cracked me up because at first I thought it was monsters, but then I saw the other class descriptions and those actually specified monsters, whereas this one specified kill NPCs.
No, that's
So,
interesting.
mhm.
You said you can unlock classes. I see. I only saw 6 when I was choosing mine. Were you like hovering over the ones that were not available to see?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
hovering
okay.
over the one that had question marks.
I didn't go far enough with that. So I
Mhm.
guess so you there are more than 6 classes. It's just we have to unlock them by doing things.
Yeah, it seemed like there was quite a bit, like quite a bit.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like if there's a necromancer class, they should be
Mhm.
available right. Like I feel like
That
I don't
that
like.
is available right away.
Okay, well I'm just saying like I don't think classes should be hidden behind an achievement screen. Like
I
I
see.
that's just me. Like
Mhm.
if there's a class that someone wants to play, they shouldn't have to play something that they hate in order to play something that they like. So
Mhm.
I just think that all classes should be available right from the beginning of the game. I get it, there's progression and something to look forward to, but at the same time, I mean, unless those characters are more powerful than the default ones, then yes, I can see that. But if there's no like major like power, like if there's no major balance issues between them,
Mhm.
then I don't see why they need to be locked. I don't like it when developers lock character classes behind other ones because.
I
Mhm,
I personally don't mind it if the unlocks are not that bad. Like if I have to reach level 50 in hardcore just to unlock a class, then that would kind of upset me. But it seems like they're very simple achievements just to get you. It's just an incentive to play a different class and to experiment with it. Like some of the unlocks were just kill 10 monsters, kill 25 monsters, like very, very simple.
mhm,
But I don't mind it just because again it just gives you an incentive to play a different class
mhm,
until you get unlock another one and you're like, wow, oh my gosh, I get to play another one, you know?
mhm, mhm. Now, I think I will probably still come back, even though the game is still alpha. I will probably still come back to this. Although my only reservation is will there be a wipe, a save file wipe because the game is still heavily being developed. That's my
Hmm.
only concern. If there is, I will wait until a major patch or until like he's done breaking the saves. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to ask him about that too. But
Hmm.
I would continue playing this because again during setup you can customize like how fast do the world things happen. Like in Drox Operative, you can set it to a relaxed pace so that enemies don't level up as quickly and don't progress as quickly. So there are ways to customize your experience, but I still think that enemies are spawning way too quickly to really enjoy the exploration aspect of it. So I'm sure the developer still has a lot more balance to work out as he's doing this. But as a fan of the Drox Operative games and the other like Diablo style one, which was released before that, I'm looking forward to this. I think that if he nails the Terraria feel, like right now the Terraria side of this game feels janky. I think if he nails that and makes it a smoother experience and more streamlined, more user friendly, more intuitive, it's going to be a great game. As it stands, like the Terraria part of this just feels janky and it's difficult to sometimes play. But, you know, with the Drox operative side of it, that is still enjoyable. Like I love the whole system behind, you know, the because the developer is like sort of copy pasting that system across all of his games and it works. So yeah, I can't wait to see what this game looks like down the line when it's actually fully fleshed out. Um,
Hmm.
Now, you gonna keep playing this too, or are you gonna take a break from it for a while until some other patches come by? Or
I would actually keep playing it because it seems like there's quite a bit of base building
Hmm.
things to build, and I want to build a pretty house. So, yeah.
Well, don't get too attached because, like I said, once you beat the world, you leave it and then you
Hmm.
generate a new one. So it's kind of like all of that work goes away.
Oh, that's sad.
Whereas in Terraria, it's like it's a permanent map. Whereas in
Hmm.
this game, it's you go from map to map to map to map. It's going to take you a while. I just don't want you to get too attached. Is my
Yeah, I
warning.
guess I can't build like a Zen garden, something like that.
Yeah. So there you go, folks. A quick preview for you. I'm looking forward to it, and I sincerely hope that this one goes places because we're kind of enjoying this, but like I said, it still needs a lot more work. But as an alpha, that's to be expected. Din's Champion. This is Vince and Ida Lee. Thanks for watching. Catch y'all next time. Take care.
Bye, guys.